Hey everyone, Steve here from PC Bug. Whoa, wait a minute. Budget solutions? Since when was a Dark Base Pro 900 revision to a budget solution? It's not. But let me explain. Reviewers have options of reviewing stuff that fits their kind of audience mold. And my general approach has always been about how to budget a system correctly. Not about cheap systems, but how to budget correctly. You know, in my previous Ryzen video, I didn't benchmark with a $160 cooler with an additional $50 worth of fans on a $200 processor. That doesn't make sense. But when I see a really good product, and this is German engineered, I'm going to mention this multiple times. I work for a German software company. I drive a German vehicle. The Germans make good stuff. Trust me. I know firsthand. But when Be Quiet reached out and said, hey, we have some things we'd like you to take a look at, I said, well, they're a little bit outside the range of what I normally do, but if it's a good product, send it over. My general audience might not be your buyer, but there might be some people watch this video that are. So that's why I'm doing it today. So welcome to the unboxing overview, and I'm going to put a system in the Be Quiet Dark Base Pro 900 Revision 2. So here's the thing with this also. Be Quiet is a German company, and I work for a German company. So it's almost like a match made in heaven. But I just read some of the technical information about this product, and holy crap, is this a monster of a case. It really is. So, oh, come on, guys. Hard foam. I mean, it may not need it, so I may not actually knock it too hard for that, but man, I really like soft foam. It also could be that this thing is really heavy. I don't know if soft foam works on heavy cases. I don't know. We'll find out. Usually the concern that I have with soft foam versus hard foam is I used to ship computers, and that made it quite difficult to do. This is going to have to be done on the floor. It's unfortunately a very big case. So some of the technical specs that I've read, it supports like radiators galore. There we go. It has hard drive space, cages everywhere that you could possibly want. It has RGB strips, fan hubs. I mean, it has it all. Okay. So it does come with a nice black cover. So that's good. And, oh, God, this is heavy. There she is. Wow, that is a really big case. I don't really mess with full towers very often. I'm moving it and the whole table shifting. Whew. Really big screws here. Not deep threaded like I was actually half expecting. But it showed up fine, and the package was roughed up a little bit, so considering this came in one piece is a plus. Ooh, okay, so it's a standard tempered glass side panel, relatively heavy. It comes with these LED strips. I did read about that. So from a technical standpoint, let's talk about support. So this case is definitely going to be for people that either want a lot of room, do custom water cooling, probably some more exotic custom water cooling, where you're going to have multiple large radiators. I think this comes with a couple fans up front. I think they're 140s, one in the back. These are Silent Wings, which are fantastic fans. Not cheap by any means. Unfortunately, they're black, so they're not RGB, which is why I don't buy them that often, but I've actually had a couple and they work really good. So let's talk about support. So I believe this supports a 420, this supports a 420, this supports a 140. So definitely a lot of radiator space. You even have front 5¼ inch bays. Like what is this? Is this 2017 here? I mean, let's see what it looks like in the front. So one thing I do like is the fact that there's a door here, right? So if you don't want, you don't want to see the 5¼ inch bays, not the end of the world. So another thing I did read in a technical diagram is it's all about insulation and noise reduction and stuff like that. So that's good, especially if you're like Linus. Man, there's just so much room in here. Let's take a look at the back. One thing that's kind of nice. This still has thumb screws. These are. Thank you for not missing this. Be quiet. I really hate the thumb screws, or ones that don't stay on. So on the back here we have a material. This material is going to help dampen noise. What's also cool is this looks like fan mounts. Like you could actually mount. Yeah, you could probably mount something back here, which is pretty neat. So I'm going to take that down. And let's continue to take a look here. Here we have the fan hub that I talked about. So that's something that's really nice to have, being able to plug in multiple fans. We have a lot of options for hard drives here. So that's good. We have, these are dedicated hard drive bays down here. A lot of room in the back here, which is definitely good. So this is kind of where the cutout is. Only one SSD? Yeah, I guess so. And then huge amounts of room for this power supply shroud. So there's a lot of cables down here. Oh wow, okay, so this is an interior power supply. So this plugs into the power supply, and then there's a cable that goes back here that plugs in, which is pretty cool. So let's see if I can show you. So you plug your cable into here. So that's pretty neat because this has a lot of room. So this is pretty cool. All you have to do is push down these clips and they'll go out the other side. And then you get a bunch of these. These are basically hard drive cages. And you can slide in very simply. And then you can obviously anchor these down as you see fit. So you can have then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hard drives, which is generally 7 hard drives on an SSD is the max most consumer motherboards are going to support, and with NVMe and M.2 becoming very popular, maybe even less than that. So this is going to be able to support probably all the hard drives you need. You have up to 2 optical bays. Oh, they have some other things here. Oh god, there's another 2.5 inch as well that you can mount. Oh man, I guess I'm just not used to reviewing something of this magnitude. They just include everything. I'm gonna put together a system here really quick, and I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts about building in a case of this magnitude. I found out a couple things. I want to take the front off. First, you want to take off this dust filter. Then, I'm going to turn this way because I have a radiator hanging out of it. There's these clips within here you want to kind of push down in. And then, so what I do is push the top one in first, pull on the side. Same thing over here. The only thing is I can't get to the last clip over there, so I'm just very careful with removing it from there. There we go. I've already had this off once and I did not break it, thankfully. And now, as you can see, this is obviously dust filtered right here. That should be given. And now we have the front of the case. We have, oh by the way, we have a power. This is for power USB, the top one. Actually, I'll show you guys here. So power, USB-C to USB 3, power, probably lights and activity, and headphone microphone. So the good news is, same way, all these clips down the side, a bunch of clips here as well, and they're located just basically under there. So here, I'll set this back on for everybody here. So then you essentially reach under it, and then you kind of have to pull. Just be very careful when doing it. What I'm doing right now is getting the back piece off to the power supply here. There could be a couple different ways of doing this, but still, see if we can get it done either way. To get the power supply in, there is a screw here, screw, I think it's here, and then you have to remove a screw here, and then this actually isn't lined up, but essentially there's a screw down here as well. And then, excuse the chatter here, this will come out. And this is the thing, big custom cases have so much customization that is expected. So just to review, in order to get the power supply in this bad boy, you have to remove two screws here, 2 screws here, same thing on the other side, 2 down there, 3 back there. And now we're gonna put this bad boy back in if it wants to agree with me here. I'll get up. There we go. Just like that. It doesn't matter how many computers you've built, how many people you've helped, you are going to make mistakes when building. And especially when you're in new territory, like a really high-end case for me, things come off and go on a little differently than what you might expect. And what I found out was I did not plan this very well, and I put the wrong screws back in. It's these longer ones that we need. So, conclusion. Do I recommend this case? Well, of course. It's really a no-compromise case. There's one thing I would fix, and that is there's a divider here, and yeah, so here's the thing. If you're doing custom water cooling, this is not important. And I would go to say, if you're not doing custom water cooling, then maybe spending or getting this much of an enthusiast case isn't for you. So you know what, I'm not even going to make that qualm, because putting an $80 to $100 AIO in a $300 case, that doesn't make sense. So realistically, when I look at objectively, which is this case, which is a little bit under $300, like I think it's around $269 or $279, who's its target? Me? No, it's not. I don't do custom water cooling yet. And if I did, honestly, the setup I have there's some really cool things I can do with it. But if you're the kind of person that wants low noise, because there's a lot of sound dampening, and it's paired with some really good high quality fans, although if you custom water cool, you might switch the fans around. But there's so much fan and radiator mounting, multiple GPU support, all sorts of room. You can fit with 7 hard drives. This is targeted at enthusiasts, not your RGB crowd, guilty. Not your mid-range biller, guilty. Not in your high-end PC gamer. This is an enthusiast class case with enthusiast class price. And honestly, when I look at it from that angle, I can't really see much to complain about. They hide the front 5¼ inch bays. This whole thing can be completely disassembled, including the motherboard tray. I will say this though, it was a little bit more complicated in a lot of cases I deal with. And the reason why is most of the cases I work with, mid-towers, and usually between like $50 to $140, $150, all kind of work and come apart the same way, which is why I can put together computers in 30, 45 minutes. This system took a little bit longer because there's a lot of screws involved because you can remove so many different things. It gives you so much flexibility. So yes, if you're an enthusiast, there's really not much else to really consider. This is really where it's at. I've seen a couple other reviews of it. People are touting it as one of the best case of 2018, and I tend to agree on the enthusiast platform. So I really want to thank Be Quiet for reaching out and getting this in my hands. It was a really unique experience to deal with something really high quality, something that I normally would not work with, and just kind of get an idea on what some people are working with. And that really gives me a better appreciation for some of the really high-end boutique builders out there that are doing some really exotic stuff. So thank you guys very much for that. If you want to buy it, link is in the description. I'll throw their power supply too, since I think that made an appearance in the video. Get subscribed, like or dislike the video, leave a comment. Let me know if you like products like this. I may not necessarily stretch my budget to buy high-end enthusiast grade parts because they're very expensive. This is more expensive than every processor in this room except for the 9900K and the 3900X. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 processors in here. So keep that in mind. But companies might be more interested to send me more stuff to review for you guys. So yeah, just let me know. And get subscribed. I just hit 1,000 subs, and that's a really big milestone for me. But as always, this is Steve from PC Budget Solutions. And I'll see y'all later on down the road.